welcome to another episode of MBTI Happy Hour. Today I thought it would be really interesting to go through the movie stereotypes or movie tropes of couples because there is this theory, like I guess in socionics and also Kiersey says this, that you should be like a dual relations. So like when you change every letter that's your dual. So INFP would be ESTJ and then it would be ESFP for Alex. And then I thought, oh my gosh, actually movie couples, there are a lot of movie couples like that, so I might make a cool video. So we're gonna like do a freestyle discussion today about that. Go.
Oh my god, no! Just as you say freestyle, I was gonna be like, yeah, much to the chagrin of like, the INTJ.
Oh, what?
To, like, prepare. Okay, go. Okay.
I basically found specific movies with specific types, and she found more general, like this is the stereotype that usually occurs in nature and in movies. In Personality Cafe, like, all these discussions, it's really popular to have INTJs be with ENFPs, and I recently watched like Pretty Woman, which I never watched. I'm like, oh my god, they're totally that. Like the Richard Gere character is definitely INTJ because he plans for everything. When she's in his room, he's like, I didn't plan for this. And it's just his general demeanor and how composed he is. And then she's definitely an ENFP. Like, I thought she could have been ESFP, except she makes all these like quippy, witty remarks that is indicative of being NE dominant. And also she's very fidgety, which is indicative of having very low SE, like SI composure.
Yeah, thinking back to it now, I think her FI is quite apparent that she doesn't fit into that whole like culture that he's part of.
Yeah, and his FI is very like the whole movie is basically about the Richard Gere character coming into his FI. Yeah, his T was always higher than his FI. That's why he was doing this company thing. But then towards the end, he, instead of buying out the other person's company, he decides to help that older dude.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and the whole stereotype at play here is that the INTJ will have his or her life totally together, and some ESFP or ENFP will come in and ruin everything, but also make it better. The whole reason they got into a relationship in the first place was her, like, persistence, like, tertiary TE, like, persistence, because he's like, I don't want to have sex with you. She's like, no, we're doing it.
No, that's totally accurate, that, like...
Talk about your life. Okay.
Yeah, it's like the self-sufficient INTJ who's like, yes, I'm fine with the way things are, and then throw in an FP to like mix things up and like show them all the good things in life that they're missing out on.
The imagery I think of is like a tornado sweeping through like this perfectly contained little field or something like that.
Yeah, generally I felt like for INTJs and ESFPs, it could be the kind of typical high school movie, like popular girl and like nerdy, socially anxious guy who's like crushing on her from afar or something like that. Yeah,
see, I like totally disagreed with this one when I saw it on your account, because now we're in the same room. I like can look at her notes. I kind of disagreed with this one because you also put that for INTP ESFJ, which I totally agree with. I think the INTJ ESFP duo is a little bit different. I can kind of imagine like this girl who she might have her pick of guys, like so many guys like her, except for this one guy who's just really mysterious, and she develops an interest in this guy, but he's thinking that she's a ditz or something like that. Like she's thinking, okay, I mean, yeah, the guy, well, it doesn't have to be a guy. The INTJ is thinking the other person is like just not serious and not long-term, like has no long-term potential, but then throughout the movie, he kind of sees her good side, like that she's so pure and she loves things as they are and experiences things as they are instead of always trying to optimize everything and always like seeing to the way future. Yeah, like I have great admiration for INTJ men, but I can't really tell them. I've just told all of you right now. No, but it's just hard for FI, without the FE universal language, it's hard for us to tell each other that we like each other, and also absence of extroversion. Really difficult. So INFP and INTJ, I thought of Pride and Prejudice, especially the BBC series that you made me watch, which I love. Thank you for making me watch it. They like didn't like each other at first because they thought each other were really stubborn, which is so true. Like, NIFI is so stubborn, and FISI is so stubborn. They both thought each other were, like, so stubborn. And the INTJ, Colin Firth, made, like, a bunch of FE mistakes. Like, I think he said some, like, mean things about her, which she heard, and it was just like, oh my god, FE polar! And then they started liking each other, but they couldn't tell each other because they were both, like, FI and introverted. So they were both kind of, like, liking each other, but unable to say it until somehow they finally get into a relationship. Why she finally liked him in the end was he, like, NITE'd his way in, right? Like, she had a problem, and he, like, fixed it in a very great and long-term way.
Right.
Which is, like...
And also a very FE-less way, because he didn't disclose that it was him.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So she just discovered that it was him, and I think he, like, redeemed himself in that way.
Yeah.
And his, like, pure FI intentions, yeah. But yeah, the way he proposed initially was, like, so TE offensive and blunt. And he was like, oh, you should, like, be grateful for the fact that I'm, like, marrying someone of your class, pretty much. Like, he didn't say it like that, but that was the gist.
He pretty much said it like that. And, like, a lot of girls would be like, yeah, but the FI Dom was like, no, what the hell? Like, what are you saying? I guess we were, like, joking about how, like, ENFP or ESFP and INTJ is, like, have sex on the first day, and INTJ is like, okay, it's been 5 years. Now we finally admit that we like each other because of so much, like, FI and I pride, right? That's what this is in the title of this. It's in the title.
I feel both like ISFP/INFP with ENTJ /ESTJ, or at least like the I blank FPs are kind of like the stereotypical Manic Pixie dream girl, which is like this whole thing that I guess like feminist theory has like said that like, oh, sometimes women or like romantic interests in movies are portrayed as like this character that's only there for the male's development, and usually they're kind of like portrayed in this very FI Dom way, like la la la, like I'm just kind of floating around and I don't care about anything, and then this kind of brings the guy out of their shell, and like I think one of the movies was like Ruby Sparks or something. It was made with the intention of kind of like looking into this whole Manic Pixie dream girl trope, and basically at the end of the movie it was like the guy, no, she was like, I'm walking out, like, I can leave. And he's like, no, you can't. Because, like, in this fantasy world, he had, like, the ultimate control, and it was very kind of, like, this commentary on this whole thing. But yeah, it seems like a typical kind of IXFP with, like, a domineering kind of, like, E something TJ.
Like, I kind of didn't have anything to say about INFP, ENTJ, or ESTJ, because... that's, like, every relationship in the 50s, so, like, there's no, like, there's always a twist when it's an ENFP girl and an INTJ guy, because as an extrovert, she's gonna be aggressive, so that's a twist that makes the movie interesting, but if it's INFP, ENTJ, it's kind of like, okay, that's how, like, so many stereotypical relationships are. No reason to make a movie about this. I feel like so many couples are like that in the background of a war film, or, like a whatever film, horror film, but the romance and romantic development is not going to be a featured point. Except, and this is extremely sad, because it's a horrible piece of art, except for 50 Shades of Grey, which I feel like she's INFP and he's probably ESTJ of some sort. And it's also really unhealthy. And these dual relationships can be really healthy and loving, but that particular example is just really unhealthy because he's really controlling and he didn't really care about what she wants. And she also happened to be a journalist, I think, which was also like kind of NFP-ish. Right. And she's definitely introverted, I think, based on that movie.
Wait, I feel like there's a Hitchcock film which kind of maybe would be like I something FP, E something TJ. Was it the one that
Is this Suspicion? Vertigo?
Yeah. Did you agree with that or not really? I actually watched it recently.
Vertigo. Oh my god. That's even worse! Because, yeah, he tries to optimize her into the perfect woman. He might be like an ISTJ.
Okay. Because
the whole point is that he's resurrecting the past, which is a very SI Dom thing to do. True. And he has, like, no NE, like, whatsoever. And she seems to be kind of more of a free spirit. I think she might be like an ESFP. Like, he's like, wear a gray dress. She's like, no, gray's not my color. SE appearances.
Right. Okay, moving on to the FETI axis.
Yeah, okay, so I have some things to say about this. I recently watched Baby Driver. It's a pretty good movie. It's Guys, it's so obvious that the guy is ISTP. It's just so obvious. And the girl is not obviously ESFJ, but like she's pretty ESFJ. Like if you know about the functions, like okay, and also stereotypically, I know you don't know about this movie, but he's like a getaway driver.
Okay.
So he's extremely precise in the getaway driving thing. And then he meets this girl who is all good. And this ESFJ girl is like the mom stereotype. The whole movie, he's flashbacking to his mom who died. She reminds him of his mom.
Oh, okay.
This is not a spoiler, don't worry. His mom died when he was so young that he sees her as an angel, because you don't talk negatively of the dead. He's like this bad boy, right? And she's like this pure angelic girl, and they have like this instant attraction. And he gets her into all this trouble, and she just like, I love you no matter what. I would be like, I'm out, bye. Bye, dude. But she's like, I love you no matter what. All this like FE love and adoration, unconditional love that only a mother can give. But if you find an ESFJ girl, she might be quite close to that.
I wonder if that's more ENFJ.
Yeah, you think she might be ENFJ?
Well, I feel like higher SI would like have like all these things that would immediately make them be like, nope, I'm not going to be with this person. But like an NI might be like more all-encompassing and be like, oh, they're like generally have the heart in the right place, so that's okay.
No, that's so good. I think you might be right. She might be an ENFJ. It's just that the nature of the movie kind of prohibits like some sort of in-depth conversation, so I kind of had this ESFJ like impression. But yeah, based on what you said, I think she might be ENFJ.
Okay, I think all of my generalizations are just like bad high school movies. But I thought like the ENFJ is like the overachiever, like valedictorian kind of stereotype, and the ISTP is like the weird like the weird outcast who is like brooding and like rooming his motorcycle off in the distance.
Motorcycle getaway driver. It's really like it's so accurate. It hurts me. It's like whoa.
I guess I also thought that like ESFJ and INTP would be like the stereotypical popular girl, and then like the nerd who's like crushing on her from afar, but like feels too socially awkward to actually do anything about it.
Yeah, I agree. ESFJ cheerleader, INTP like comp sci person who's like admiring from afar. By the way, my parents are that. So I know in one video I said that my mom is an ENFJ, but thanks to micro expressions, I figured out that she's actually ESFJ. So my parents are actually duals, which my dad is like a developer kind of thing. Like computer engineer, and my mom was so popular. She was so popular. I hated growing up in that household because she was constantly like criticizing me for like, why aren't you popular? Like I'm an INFP. But I actually found a specific movie to reference this with, and surprisingly, it's not a high school movie. It's a really good movie called The Fly, which I only watched because of one of your comments about how the main character have like 10 outfits that he rotates through, which is like very INTP. So the guy is really like INTP. He's extremely smart, and he's figuring out this an invention that could change the world, but he doesn't even care to like tell it to the world. That's the afterthought. That's even lower than an afterthought. And then this ESFJ, popular, beautiful, extroverted reporter. I'll never forget their like first sex scene. It's like he's like lying there, and she's like, "You're so cute," and he's like, "I am," and then she like starts making out with him, and then he's like, "What is that? What's going on?"
Oh, that's so cute.
No, it was so cute.
For the other NFJ STP, I thought that like an INFJ ESTP would be like the kind of weird artsy loner girl who is like crushing on like the popular jock from like afar. And maybe in this universe the popular jock is dating like the ESFJ cheerleader, and the INFJ is like friends with like the INTP.
Whoa, that's pretty good. Wow. Okay, I don't know. For some reason, I didn't do the dual for this one. I put ISFJ with ESTP. I can't list maybe Grease and any makeover high school movie. Any high school makeover movie, you have this shy ISFJ girl who's like pretty good underneath, but she's just didn't know, she didn't get into her SI dressing sense yet because it's high school. And then the ESTP is like this jock that everyone loves, and I don't know, someone introduces her to like makeup and tight pants, and suddenly crease, and everyone's in love, and yay!
Yay! I actually think that was like the only one specific example I had, and I also put ISFJ ESTP, even though I've never even watched Grease in its entirety.
I didn't watch Grease either. Okay. I was telling Alex that, oh my god, I can't figure out anything for ENTP, and she's like, well, maybe it's this guy who's like really funny and making fun of everything, and then there's this ISFJ girl who's like quietly disapproving of him. He might be like a playboy kind of thing, but there's this girl who's like, like you and your antics, like always kind of like quietly judging him, but in the end he finds that she's like the best influence in his life kind of thing.
And she kind of loosens up and like sees the good side of his like joking nature.
Right. Yeah, I feel like a lot of maybe some Japanese anime could be like that, but I can't think of anything specific right now. ENTPs, INFJs, tell us what your romantic experience would be like or has been like if it was reduced to a stereotype. And like other types, tell us if I don't know, if anything rings true or like totally false. And what do you think of like these movie stereotypes and novel stereotypes and MBTI community stereotypes and the concept of duality in general?
Ooh, you guys have so much to comment on.
Yeah!
Get typing!
Yeah, thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoy our videos, as always, like, consider subscribing and pledging your support on Patreon, and I hope to see you next time.
Bye!